What's up, Prop Nation? It's your boy John here today. We're back with another episode of the Footy. Round 7 is here, Anzac Day weekend. It's going to be an epic 5 days of football. Holy crap. I'm looking forward to it. It starts on Wednesday night, goes through till Sunday. So excited to bring you some awesome content for the weekend ahead. Last weekend was really good to us. We had a great Sunday. We were 4 for 4. We had Isaac Heaney, anytime goal scorer. Paul Curtis, anytime goal scorer as well. That was great. Tom Powell's been playing really well. And Justin McInerney, man, he's been our guy. I've been loving what he's been doing. If you're enjoying the content, NHL playoffs are on at the moment. The Stanley Cup playoffs are on, and Sully's been doing some epic content. He's been doing the bus ride. No, he's been doing the gauntlet, which has been really fun to watch. He's doing picks every single day for every single game. They're going to make some huge money. We hope. We'll see. Please like and subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter as well. And leave a review if you're listening on Apple and Spotify as well. As I was saying, Anzac Day weekend, this should be good. This is 5 straight days of content, back-to-back games, all the way through. So excited to see what we can do for the bus ride. Let's see if we can get past the first couple of legs finally. Going to put a lot of thought into this one, so hopefully it'll be good. As always, never bet more than you can afford to lose. This is just for fun, for entertainment purposes only, just to give you some ideas. It's not financial advice, and help is out there as well if you need.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
All right, so we'll start with the Anzac Eve game. As tradition, it is the Tigers and the Dees at the MCG. Should be pretty good weather for all these games all weekend. It's going to be a bit warmer in Perth. It's going to be around 25 degrees, but across the rest of the country, it might be a bit colder in Canberra at Manuka Oval. But other than that, should be clear. No chance of rain that we can see at this stage. Dees are favoured minus 27.5, and the over-under is 165.5. Ins and outs for the Tigers. Well, Tigers have got a laundry list of injuries, which has been a problem for them. But Dylan Grimes should be back, and Jacob Hopper could be back as well. And Jaden Short is not too far away either. And then for the Dees, Clayton Oliver had finger surgery over their bye week. Both teams coming off bye, so we'll see how he. Apparently, he's going to be playing, so that should be interesting. And then Christian Salem's still out 4 to 6 weeks with a hamstring injury. So we'll start with the Tigers, and Liam Baker is the one that we've been looking at the most. He's been good in defense, so it'd be good to see him get 20 plus touches. We quite like that. And then Jack Ross as well through the midfield has been stepping up in a big way as well. He's been doing pretty well through the middle. And then we've also seen Nick Vlosten return to form as well. He had a bounce-back week last week after a couple of down weeks. Sorry, when I say last week, I mean last game. They were on bye last week. And then we're going to be looking for anytime goal scorers for the Tigers is Tim Taranto looks like the best value. He's had 3 goals, 9 shots at goal, and 32 score involvement. So we like to see that. And then if you can get Shai Bolton still at $1.30 to kick a goal, that is usually pretty good money as well. But you might even want to get him for 2+ goals because he's been that good. But I got to say, most of what I'm looking at is going to be on the D side of things for here, especially with that spread being 27.5. Looks like it heavily favors the D's, who we'll get to now. And model, look, the D's have been struggling probably a bit more than we actually realize, a bit more than they actually let on. So Judd McVee is still the highest disposal getter that we can see, even though he let us down in their last game. So he has still been doing okay. Last game, he finished with, just the 16 touches. He had 20 the week before that and then 10 the week before that. So he has been down of late, but this should be a game script that does heavily favor the D's. Even if you can find some good value on Stephen May as well, 15 plus touches. Stephen May has been playing pretty well as well. He's at 18, 19. He had 4 in round 2 because he got injured in that game, and then 25, 21. So if you can get a good number there, I like looking that way as well. And also, Max Gawn for 15 plus touches, if you can find good value there. Max Gawn has also been playing pretty well. So 23 touches in his last game, 15 and 20, 17. So we'll see if we can couple a couple of these together and hit something nice there. So for goal scorers as well, It's Petrarca, it's Gawn, it's Billings. They still remain the ones that you want. But there's not a lot of goodness and not a lot of value on the Dees right now to kick goals. So, yeah, it should be an interesting game. It's a pretty average over-under. So, we'll have to see. We'll have to see closer to game time. Watch the bus ride, and we'll see what we come up with there. All right, we'll jump now to the Anzac Day game. It's the tradition of the Bombers versus the Pies. As I was saying, weather's going to be 16 and clear in Melbourne at the MCG. The Pies are favoured 11.5 points, and the over-under is 168.5. For the Bombers, is it time that we finally jump on Nick Martin? He has been so good. I'm just concerned about this matchup against the Pies, but if it is played a lot in Bombers defense, then that could be favourable. His lines have been sitting around 23.5, but I do expect them to go up, but he has been playing pretty well for them. 29 last week, 25 is the lowest he's had, 35 and 44. So maybe we could still stick on Nick Martin there. I don't know. We went with Dyson Heppel last week, and he let us down. I couldn't believe it. Just the 13 touches was not great. So would love to see him return to form. The other player who's playing pretty well, Mason Redman. He's sort of been a revelation. I think we should jump on him this week. 20-plus touches looks good for Mason Redman. He's had, his line has been sitting around. He hasn't even really been getting a line. He's been having around sort of 15, 17, 18. So he's been getting 21, 21, then 15 and 25. So he has been a lock almost for 20-plus touches. So like Mason Redman, I think I might jump on him this week. For goal scorers, can't see any decent value at this time. It still looks like Jade Gresham is the go. He's been the one who's been kicking the goals, and he's been worth the value. So we'll probably jump on that, but maybe we'll have a look at some Magpies players for anytime goal scorers in this one. We'll cross to the Magpies, and we'll start with Josh Dacos, who has been playing some really, really great footy as of late. And we talked about John Noble last week. Oh, man, he just finished with the 18 touches in the end. We had him for, I think we wanted to get him up to 20. It was a bit of a risk. So if you can get him at good value at 15, could be something there. But Josh Dacos, 22 touches last week, 30, 20, 29. The lowest he's had was round one was 16, so he has been hitting 20-plus touches. So Josh Dacos for 20-plus touches in a huge game here. I really like that. And Braden Maynard has had a line of 18.5, and he's been going over 20-plus touches most weeks. He had 22 last week, 15 the week before, but then 24 and 22. So almost like Maynard as well. Maybe we could couple those two players together. Fire up your Jordan De Goeys, because he has not scored last week, and this is a perfect matchup for him to score as well. He loves these big stages, and he is fairly good value as well to kick a goal. I think he's sitting around $1.50 or $1.60. So if you like Jordan De Goey there to kick a goal, that could be worthwhile as well. Let's see, where is he at? He's at 2 goals, 7 shots at goal, and 28 score involvements, and he sits usually around $1.80, $1.90. Sorry, so there you go. So that's pretty good value. Be good to see him kick something through the midfield under the primetime lights. Next game will be at the nation's capital in Canberra at Monaco Oval. It is the Lions who are travelling, and the Giants, I guess you could say, are travelling as well to Canberra, but it is their home game. This is the one I was saying could be a bit cooler. It's going to be about 10 degrees at kickoff in the evening there in Canberra. Spread is Giants favourite 1.5 at this stage, and the over-under is 172.5. Sam Taylor for the Giants is still expected to miss with that nasty knock that he had. And Stephen Coniglio should be back soon because he missed tearing his ACL, so that was good. But Toby Green could be out with suspension. And I'm trying to think, who is the other guy? They've got another player as well who might be out with suspension as well. So there's a couple of big losses there for the Giants. And I guess that's why the spread is so tight. All right, we'll start with the Giants as well. And, well, Lachie Whitfield, if we can get him around 30 touches, he has been playing some insane football, Lachie Whitfield. So, especially with Sam Taylor being out, last week he had 29 touches, 34 the week before that, and 29. So he's just fallen short, 1 touch into 3 games. So he's about 50-50 for 30-plus touches. But if he can get over the line here, should be a big game, especially with those key outs. The other one it likes is Connor Iden. If you can get him for 15-plus touches, is there any value there? Also, our guy, Finn Callaghan, who let us down 2 weeks ago, last week had 23 touches. So he's also been playing really well. So I quite like Finn Callaghan for 20-plus touches as well. His line has been sitting around 19.5. I think that's really good value to take the over there as well. As far as anytime goal scorers go, not a lot of value. Brent Daniels, 7 goals, 15 shots a goal, and 34 score involvements, and he's sitting around $1.45 to kick a goal. If you like that value, you could go that way. He's been sort of more reliable. Or if you want a bit more of a long shot, Josh Kelly has had 6 goals, 9 shots a goal as well, and he sort of sits around $1.92 to kick a goal. So don't mind that value there for Josh Kelly. He has been sort of kicking them more often than not. For the Lions, Dayne Zorko still taking over the Lions. We'll have to have a crack at 25 plus because we lost out on the 20 earlier in the season. Earlier in the season, you could get Dayne Zorko at around, his line was like 19.5. It's all the way up to 24.5 now. And you could probably still take the over. He's been that good. As far as other players go, Darcy Wilmot as well. If you want to go 20 plus touches, he had a big week last week. 20 could be a risk. Is there anything on 15? Is there any value still? And then, surprise, surprise, Jared Berry has been playing some insane football the last 4 weeks. 29 touches last week, 23 the week before that, 24 and 20. And his line has been sitting around 18.5. It's dropped down to 17.5 of late. So I'm sure it'll go back up. But even then, 20 plus touches, that looks like great value for Jared Berry. He's been playing really, really well in the midfield there. For anytime goal scorer, Lincoln McCarthy, he's still our guy. 7 goals, 16 shots a goal at $1.60. That's a really nice value. I'm sure that that'll start to come down soon. And then Cam Rayner as well in the middle. 3 goals, 7 shots a goal. He's $1.75 as well, which is not much for $1.75 on the season, but you could look that way as well. We'll cross now to Adelaide, where we're expecting for Friday night football some clear weather in Adelaide. It's going to be 15 degrees at kickoff. Port Adelaide is favoured 20.5 against the St Kilda Saints. So the over-under is 162.5. And I think after the embarrassment last week that Port faced against the Pies, expecting a huge bounce-back week here for Port Adelaide. And I think this is a good matchup spot for them. For Port, Zerk Thatcher shouldn't miss any time. We do expect him to come back soon. And Travis Boak could be back as well. And then for the Saints, Max King might be playing but might not be in perfect health. So just keep that in mind. For Port Adelaide, for disposals, Jason Horne-Francis, over 20.5. Looks like money at this point. He's been playing awesome. 24 touches last week. He had 18 the week before that, but then 31 and 20. So more often than not, he is getting over that 20 plus that we need. His line is 20.5. I don't know if I would take that all the way up to 22. I would sit on the 20 plus for now. I would buy that one touch that you need just to keep it safe. And then the other one, if you can get 15 plus touches on Kane Farrell, if there's value there for Kane Farrell, 15 plus touches. He's been playing really well. 16 touches last week, 26 before that, and then 16 as well. His lowest, this was round 3, 11 touches, but other than that, 27, 17. So he's had a fairly good season as well. And it makes me sad to say, but this might be the time now that we have to bet the Willem Drew unders. He just has not been getting where we need him. Last week, 16, 16 before that, and 18 before that. And his line has been around 18.5. So he has really dropped off the last couple of weeks after starting the season. Really, really hot. The anytime goal scorers, this is a tricky one. Maybe Sam Powell-Pepper, now that he's back. He hasn't kicked a goal yet, but he's playing in the forward. He's had 2 shots at goal in his 2 games back, but only 3 score involvements. So maybe it's because they got overrun against the Pies. Maybe it'll be different this week. So potentially if there's really, really good value on Sam Powell-Pepper, I wouldn't mind looking that way. Okay, for the Saints, for disposals, we like Riley Bonner. We like what he's been doing. 20 plus touches. He's had a line of 22.5, which he doesn't always hit. But if we can get around 21.5, I wouldn't mind taking the over on that. But 20 plus touches, he's only missed out on that one time. Other than that, 22, 20, and 24 touches. He's been really, really good. The other one is Marcus Windhager. We were on him last week and he came through in a big way. He had 29 touches in the end. His line was 20.5. So huge game for Windhager. 21 the week before that. Really like those 2 guys. I think I might even jump back on Windhager this week. So even though that can be a bit of a risk. Bradley Hill is just the last one I'll say as well. He continues to dominate. 31 touches last week, 33 the week before that. So you can get him for 20 plus. at a good value. It might be gone now, but 25, I just think that that's a little bit too high for me, especially when his line has been 23.5. So if anything, just take the over there. Jack Still has been playing well as well, but his line is 27.5. And I just feel like that is too much, even though he had 27 last week, 29, 33, 29 before that. It's a bit too much for me. Maybe this might be an under there. But all the Saints in the back line have been doing it well for them. Don't love the goal scorers for the Saints. I'd rather parlay the power if we can, but Mitch Owens is okay value. He's just been so unreliable. And then Riley Bonner again, $2 from the midfield is great value in a really tough matchup for them. So he's had 1 goal, 4 shots, a goal, and 23 score involvement. So not a huge amount there, but yeah, I don't know. We'll stay on the power because they're at home. I think goals could be hard to come by for the Saints. The Saturday day game is between North Melbourne and the Adelaide Crows. This one's going to be played in Hobart. It's going to be 17 degrees. The Crows are favoured 28.5 points over the abysmal North Melbourne, who have not been good at all. The over-under is 175.5. For North Melbourne, Kalen Dawson is still expected to miss 2 to 3 weeks with an ankle injury. And Cam Zerha might be back. He's a test at the moment. For the Crows, Patrick Parnell will be out for the season. He needs shoulder surgery. And Wayne Malira, it's official, he's done with a knee injury. That makes us sad because he was making us a lot of money at the start of the season. And then Jordan Butts is still out 1 to 2 weeks with a hamstring. For North Melbourne, they are in absolute shambles at the moment. Harry Sheasel finally had less than 30 touches over the weekend. He had 26, so he could have gone the under there. I think his line was sitting at, 29.5. Tom Powell, he was great. Line was 24.5, and he got the 20-plus touches that we needed. We're looking at Bailey Scott this weekend. He might be actually the most reliable. 21 touches last week. His line has been 21.5, but if you can get him for 20, I don't mind that. So Bailey Scott playing through the midfield. He had 27 the week before and then 21 as well. So he's been playing well. And goal scorers could go back to the well with Paul Curtis. He's been good for us as well. $1.65 to kick a goal. And he's had 12 goals, 24 shots a goal. So you can't really ask for more than that. With that kind of value, $1.65, that is fairly good. That's what we like to see. For the Adelaide Crows, we're looking at Jake Saligo has been playing a lot better than I think people expect, though his line has jumped from 18.5 to 24.5 last week. And he had 31 touches, probably because Matt Crouch was out because he was suspended. He should be back from suspension, I think, this week in this game. So expect that to come down a little bit. We're also on Mark Keane, who's been playing all right. Couldn't get the 20-plus touches that we needed, but if he can get 15, he had 17 last week, 14 the week before that, but then 26 and 23 as well. So he's been getting a fair bit of the ball. Josh Worrell as well, 15-plus touches, looks pretty good. 21 last week. He did have 12 the week before that, but then 19, 17, 16, and 22. So it's just that one down week in round 5. For anytime goal scorers, Luke Pedler still does not have a goal from 3 shots at goal. So it could be a bit of a long shot there. But Ben Keys at $1.40, he's had 9 goals from 12 shots at goal. So he's very, very accurate, but he has kind of always been an accurate goal kicker. And he's been positioned sort of between the wing, the midfield, and the half-forward lines. So Ben Keys at $1.40. It's not a huge amount of value, and his regression could come down, but I still don't mind it if I have to bet anyone there looking at Ben Keys. The Saturday Arvo game, it's going to be between the Cats and the Blues. This should be an epic. This is like 1 versus 2, I think, on the ladder, isn't it? Cats are still undefeated. This one's going to be at the MCG. It's going to be cloudy in Melbourne, 15 on Saturday afternoon at 4:30. Cats are favourite at this point, -2.5. I would expect the money to start coming on the Blues late, though. Over-under is 169.5. Cats, we're looking pretty healthy across the board. Just Guthrie, but he should be back soon from that really bad hamstring injury he suffered in preseason. For the Blues, Adam Saad's going to be out for 6 weeks, and then Chera and McGovern are still going to be out another couple of weeks. So a couple of injuries there, but I think the Blues have really been enjoying having Sam Walsh back. For the Cats, for touches, Tanner Bruhn, 20-plus touches. It's still quite risky, but it could be there if you want, even if you can get value on 15-plus touches. But he did have the 21 last week, even with Patrick Dangerfield back, and the conditions were really bad for the Cats last week against Brisbane. It was torrential rain. Brian Myers, 20 plus, has been every single week. His line was sitting around 17.5. I think that's probably more up to like 19.5, 20.5 at this point as well. But he's been quite good for 20 plus. I wouldn't bet 20.5. Craziest 8, Jack Bowes as well. Last 3 weeks, he's had 20 plus touches in each game, 23, 23, and 21. So if you can get good value on 15, take that. But 20 plus touches as well, if it's there, that'd be nice. For goal scorers, there is not too much that I love outside of Brad Close, and he's only sitting around $1.40, but these numbers are not really where I want them to be right now. So maybe it might be worth looking at Jeremy Cameron or Tom Hawkins for 2+ goals, or Charlie Curnow or Harry Mackay for 2+ goals. It's going to be some combination of these awesome elite goal scorers. So we'll have to have a look at that. For the Blues, well, he's back. Sam Walsh, 34 touches, 35 touches the week before as well since his return. So this is going to be a tough matchup, but still, he's just one of those elite players. Patrick Cripps, huge game last week. I don't know if he repeats, but his line's been sitting around 25.5. He had 39 touches last week. That is insane. The 25.5, that's too high, though. This is like pretty much the only week he's really gone over 25.5. So if anything, you'd be looking at the unders. But again, another interesting matchup. Outside of this, it's bleak for the Blues. Players are not really playing to the expectations. They're sort of spreading the ball around a lot. If we can extract any value, maybe it might even be worth looking at some unders for the Blues. Matthew Kennedy smashed over 18.5, 3 of the last 4 weeks, though. So maybe Matthew Kennedy could be the go there. Sneaky 18.5 if we can get that. Do like the over. Anytime goal scorers, well, it's between Cottrell and Kennedy, and I don't love Cottrell to score goals. That's not really why, even though he does it often, I don't feel comfortable betting that. If anything, Matthew Kennedy, I think that would probably be a bit better value. The Saturday night game, it's going to be in Perth. It's going to be a warm afternoon there, late afternoon, 25 and sunny, and Freo, who are playing the Dogs, are favourite 3.5. And the over-under is 164.5. And my gosh, the Dogs, they had an epic game last week against the Saints. They really shut up a lot of people, maybe even myself included. We'll start with Freo, though. Jeremy Sharp for disposals, 15+ touches. We like a lot. He has gone under this once this year. So what's the value on Jeremy Sharp? 17 last week, 19 the week before that, and 29 in round 4. He did have 13 in round 2, but he's really started to come on strong through the midfield. Caleb Sarong has been down, but the Dogs play through the midfield a lot. The ball spends a lot of time in the midfield. And in Perth, I like Sarong over 29.5 if it's there, but it is a huge number. James Aish, well, he's let us down last week and the week before that, so it might be time to step away from James Aish. Just the 9 touches last week. Oh, that makes me sad. But Jordan Clark, 24 touches last week. Jordan Clark's going to be playing as one of the best players in the league, one of the best defenders in the league at the moment. Man, why did the Cats let him go? I'm sad about that. For goal scorers, it might be worth going back to the well with Bailey Banfield, though Bailey Banfield has been playing really bad football the last couple of weeks. So if you want something that might be a bit more of a sure thing, Michael Walters has 6 goals from 13 shots at goal, and he's just $1.25, so not a lot there. And Josh Tracy at $1.35. He has 11 goals from 15 shots at goal. So the big man, Josh Tracy, could be worth a look there. For the Western Bulldogs, okay, Taylor Duray has been punching above his weight, it's got to be said, the last few weeks. He had 22 touches last week and 25 the week before that. And the 2 previous games was 14 and 19, so a little bit down. So if you can get him for 15+ touches, if there's good value on Taylor Duray, that looks fairly good. If you're feeling frisky, 20+ touches as well. Bailey Dale is more often than not coming through in a big way. Last week, 39 touches, and that was coming off being the sub the week before that. So check to make sure he's not the medical sub again. I don't know what Bevo's thinking, but hey, it's working, so what do I know? Adam Treloar, he has not had less than 25 touches all year. And Jason Johannesson, we were on him at the start of the year. He's still playing really well, 31 touches last week. 22 the week before that. So really like those guys. For goal scorers, Tim English and Latham Vandermeer are the ways we're looking, but I kind of like the value on Riley West. At $1.50, he's got 7 goals and 13 shots at goal. 36 score involvements as well. So Riley West, we'll have a look at his way because he's been playing some great football. All right, the Sunday day game at the Gold Coast. It's going to be the Suns playing the Eagles, so a nice matchup there for the Suns, though the Eagles, hey, they're hot, and we haven't said that in about 6 years. There could be light rain in the area. Should be pretty muggy and a little bit of wind, but the Suns are favourite 29.5, and the over-under is 166.5. For the Suns, Malcolm Rosas is still out, probably 8 weeks with a hamstring injury. And for the Eagles, Luke Edwards is in concussion protocol still. We'll start with disposals for the Suns, and Mac Andrew got off to a flying start, but he hasn't been able to follow up the last couple of weeks. Just 19 touches last week, 17 the week before that, but if you can get him at 15 plus touches, would be maybe worth a look. Maybe this will be a good matchup for him, where he could go back to the 20 plus touches that we're used to seeing him from the first game. Sam Flanders has gone over his line every week but one as well, so we love these Sam Flanders over. Line has been 26.5, and he's been hitting it. So he's had 34, 29, 28, and 35 the last 5 weeks. So good for Sam Flanders. He's been playing really well. And it is Sam Closey as well. Sam Closey, 15 plus touches. He started with 22, similar to Mac Andrew, came in with a really hot start and then went down a bit, 18 and 19. 15 plus touches for Closey looks good there. He's really come on firing. Anytime goal scorers for the Suns, well, Bailey Humphrey, he's sitting at $1.50. He's had 2 goals, 7 shots a goal, and 31 score involvements. So he's been playing pretty well. And then the other good value, if you can still get Ben Ainsworth at $1.60, he has 4 goals, 10 shots a goal, and he's sort of been playing in the half-forward line as well. So really, really like that value there for the Suns in a favorable matchup at home. We know the Suns play really, really well at home. For the Eagles, well, Elliot Yeo, he is the leader out there, but I can't see any value on the old man at the moment. His line has been sitting around 22.5, and he's been getting 26, 27, 28. I expect it to go up, so we'll see. He is playing a bit more inspired football at the moment, though. And then Harley Reid, he has not been as good as the book suggests. I mean, don't hear what I'm not saying here. He's phenomenal. He's an amazing player. But the hype, it's so enormous right now for Harley Reid. If anything, you might be wanting to start betting on the unders for Harley Reid. His line has been sitting around 16.5. He did hit it over last week with 19 and 27 the week before that. But then in other games, he has had limited play. So, look, I'm not going to bet against Harley Reid at this stage, but it might be starting to think about when will the hype be so enormous that you can get the unders. The other one that we're looking at, Liam Duggan has been pushing his 22.5. Would love to get an over there. He is right there at about 20 plus as well. He's been playing really, really well. Liam Duggan, 22 last week, 30 the week before that, 21 and 28. So, 22, and 22 last week as well. So playing really, really good football is Liam Duggan in defence there. And it is the final game of the round. It is the Hawthorn Hawks and the Sydney Swans. So if you've got something better to do on Sunday afternoon, I recommend doing it. Having said that, though, the Swans are only 18.5 point favourites. I fully expect that to go over. I think they crush them here. Over-under is 170.5. It's going to be 15 and partly cloudy at the MCG in Melbourne. Ins and outs for the Hawks. Well, Chenkuth Jath could be back. He's played in the VFL last week, so he could be back for this game. And Ned Reeves might return from concussion. And then for the Swans, Mills, Parker, and Rampy, they're all still out, but they're not far away. So for this game, let's start with the Hawks. Jake Scrimshaw at 20 plus touches. He's been okay value. Even if you get him at 15 plus, that's more likely to hit. But he had 20 last week, 15 the week before that, but then 22, 20, and 26. So he has been getting a lot of the ball. And little Harry Morrison, who's one of their new players, has come on last week. 26 touches. Wow, where did that come from? But they did have a favourable matchup last week against North Melbourne. I'm not looking too many ways for the Hawks here. If I have to bet an anytime goal scorer, might go back to Nick Watson. But again, he's a young kid. He hasn't played a lot of football, and this is a tough matchup against the Swans, who we are on. Isaac Heaney. He has got to be the best player in the league right now. Last week, he followed it up again coming off the bye. 28 touches. He's at 26, 27. He is smashing his over-unders. His line has been sitting at 25.5, and it's been no problem for him. He's also been scoring goals. He's had 9 goals from 13 shots a goal. He's down to $1.30 now. At the start of the season, he was like $2 to score a goal. Those were the days. The other one, Ollie Florent, last week, 25 touches. You can get him for 20 plus touches. I do like that because he's at 19 and 19. But Justin McInerney. He has been the real money. 20 plus touches every week, 26 last week, and we were on him, and that was very, very good value. It might start to go down now, but his line has been sitting at 20.5, which we really like. Chad Warner for anytime goal scorers as well. I already mentioned Isaac Heaney, but 8 goals for Chad Warner, 14 shots a goal, and at $1.60, that's phenomenal value, especially against the Hawthorn Hawks. If that value is still there, I highly recommend taking that one for Chad Warner. That's going to do it for Anzac Day weekend, round 7 of the footy. Thank you for sticking around. Hope you're enjoying the content. Please like and subscribe if you're still watching on YouTube. And
chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
Stanley Cup Playoff Hockey Run. That's on at the moment on Instagram and YouTube. We're having a lot of fun there as well. We'll be back next week. The NFL Draft is on Friday in Australia. I'm very, very excited for that one. We might have a new sort of like spin-off show coming as well, so stay tuned for that. I'm kind of thinking up a couple more content ideas as well. Enjoy the footy this weekend. I hope your team wins. I hope the other team loses. Until then, we'll catch you next week. Goodbye.